If everyone would rise to do the Pledge of Allegiance together, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you good, Jill? You want us to pause or? Okay, we'll go ahead on. Just a few items to mention this evening. If you could please silence your cell phones. Our meetings are public and we're working on recording them. This is a business meeting. We ask everyone to conduct themselves in a professional manner, and our city code allows for public comment up to 3 minutes. And
business, new business, I would ask for a motion to approve the prior month's meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. CD information, none or maturing at this time. If you guys have all taken a look at the financial dashboard that was in your packet, you'll see that we're at 8% of our forecasted budget after month one. Some of them expenses looked a little bit higher, but I think that's due to some of the projects in the parks and some additional equipment purchases for the police department. The online codification project, I would like to pass over to Jill so that she can get everybody up to speed on that. She had just brought me up to speed, so I'll let her, she knows a lot more about this, and pass it on over to her.
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties with our recording and our audio. Okay, so with the packets that, or the information that you have in your pockets, this is to take our ordinances and be able to host them online on our websites and have a service to where they can be fully searchable. You can search in a keyword. Currently, the way that we have them right now, the code book is broken up into about 20 different PDFs on our website from what is actually codified from the last time we did that in 2001 with the ordinances up to 2021, and 2023 was the last time that new ordinance had put into that book. Since 2023, any new ordinances that have been passed, we basically just have to put them on the website as a PDF. So as either a staff member or somebody from the community, if you wanted to go and search up, okay, what's Redbud's rules about planting a bush? You have no way to actually go through and control F it to be able to search through the whole entire city code. So by getting an online service to where we can have the code hosted, have it updated, have it fully searchable, you can search for draft copies. So as we're researching new ordinances, you can use that service to basically as a starting point. And it would save a lot of time for city staff. And it would also inform the public a lot more about what's going on and what kind of rules and regulations we have. So the two quotes that you have in your packet are American Legal and Muni Code. both do their pricing a little bit differently. Muni Code is one kind of comprehensive price, and then American Legal is a base price, and then they charge a fee per page anytime you want to do additions or changes, whatnot. Based on the two, I broke it down to what it would cost the city year one, what it costs year two, and then a 5-year span. Muni Code comes in slightly less expensive. I was impressed with their products. Neighboring counties, I have a list of different cities that, you know, who does Muni Code, who does American Legal, and they're pretty much a good 50-50 split. I reached out to a couple of them. There's pros and cons with each. It's an online service. You know, you have to make sure that you're still keeping the information updated and whatnot. So there is still a maintenance requirement on our part as a city. But I think Muni Code would be the lesser of the two in costs. I was impressed with their services, so I would recommend that we would go through with Muni Code.
And didn't you mention as well that Muni Code, just their response time and stuff of that nature, their service was just seemed to be quite a bit better?
They were very prompt with their replies.
Okay.
It was very easy to get information from them.
Do we have any way of telling or knowing how many times the public actually accesses that page? And is it something that they're using now, do you think?
Honestly, I don't think they're using it because it's so clunky and it's just so difficult.
I mean, I've used it
Even
quite
if they
often.
could.
It's not that,
Yeah, but you have to.
I mean, it, yeah,
have
you
to
can't
know.
type in a word search, no.
No, you can't,
No.
yeah. And, you know, so as far as that specific page, I don't have the stats on that. I can look to see if we can have a,
I was just curious if it's, you know, I mean, if they're not using what we have now, I don't see this bringing that many more people to the website and using the
sure.
code of ordinances.
I think, the benefit to the citizens for just being able to. I think one of the issues that we have been facing is transparency a lot. And making sure that the public are aware of like, what are the rules? What can you do? What can't you do? Instead of, you know, making them jump through a couple hoops, having it all accessible online where they can go and search it. And we can easily say, well, if you go here and, you know, look in this place, I think that would be beneficial to the public. Selfishly speaking too, for staffing and for research and trying to come up with new ordinances, researching what other communities and, you know, at this point, having to go in and go to each other different municipalities' websites, search their ordinances, try to figure out what they have. This service allows us to just go to their library. We can search all of the state of Illinois' ordinances in order to give us draft copies. It pretty much, it's as simple as you click a button and it gives it to you in PDF and Word. So then you just take it, make it applicable to your municipality, send it over to the attorney, have them review it. It makes that whole process very streamlined.
And it saves a lot of our staffing time as well, when we're working on this. I know that you brought that up, that
Yes. I mean,
as far as for anybody at utilities or anything,
and I mean, there's a good example in your packet this evening of the CAT ordinances, you know, and just trying to draft up, like, what do other municipalities use? What do they have? It's all right there versus having to do that other research.
What happens after year 5?
After year 5? Well, it depends on what we want to do. So we are into, you have to sign a 5-year contract with American Legal. Muni Code, it's a year by year. We just basically have to give them 60 days notice after that point for termination.
After we do it and it's on there, if we cancel service, does it go away?
It's a good question. I
Do
think
you-
it would always be up there. So if we knew we were going to cancel the services, we could.
Yeah, I mean, does that track, like, what's stopping, I mean, we don't change, we change ordinances, but. I mean,
Not-
if
not
it's on there,
that
what happens when they're no longer taking care of it? Where does it go?
It would, I mean, that would be something that I would have to ask. I mean, the other thing is Muni Code is it's a service through Civic Plus. And we already use them for our accounting software. Some of the other programming that we have, they are kind of a known leader for municipality services. So I like their track record and that they're established company.
Sure.
In that regard, but I mean, I would think if we're not happy with the services, we have those PDFs now currently. And anything that gets hosted up there, we would be the ones initiating that and giving that to them. So it wouldn't be like they would just take that document and it would be gone. We would have that first.
We'd still have the copies of the documentation that they did and stuff. We just wouldn't have their monthly service or whatever for anything new at the time of termination of the contract.
Yeah, so if you decide that, we don't like the service, basically, we'd have to go back to what we do now, which is just posting all those PDFs or giving that information to a new service to do what they're doing.
So with MuniCode, we could do 1 year because they do it yearly, right? And then if we're not using it that much in a year, we could always say that's not beneficial or keep on using it or whatever, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The biggest part is the implementation the first year,
Sure.
because that's gonna cost you a couple grand just to get the information up into their system.
So currently, I know we have a lot of different PDFs on there. Is there anywhere where our whole ordinance book is just downloaded on there where you can go page to page and look something up like we would if we had our binder? That's how it's set up now.
I
basically.
have that capability, the public does not.
That's what I was,
The public does not have that capability
okay. So they can't actually thumb through our book now,
unless they click through every PDF,
You
right?
gotta go through every
Chapter.
file, yeah, but they can look at it.
but it's like
I mean,
a
I've looked stuff up.
different
on it.
PDF.
Yeah, but
It's not easy, I'll guarantee
Yeah.
that. It,
no,
like I said.
I'm all good with this. I mean,
It-
we're
it's
we're
not,
behind on a
uh,
lot of. I am good with updating our stuff for sure.
Well, I like
I don't like-
the transparency part of it, to where we put this out on our page on Facebook and say, hey, if you have any questions, concerns, go to this link or whatever, and you could.
I mean, I'm kind of with Kyle, but I just wonder the use of it, how much it'll really get used. That would be the question.
Well, I can personally speak that I would use it a lot.
Well,
It would
I
be
think-
handy.
Yeah,
I
I
think
just,
all of us.
yeah.
Right.
I've got a thumb drive at home where I have mass combined all the files that I personally, that's the only way I can look anything up. And none of us should be having, us alone,
Yeah.
but and also the public should
It's
not have,
cumbersome to go
it's
through.
very cumbersome, yeah. Yeah.
Actually, the old paper books were easier.
They almost were that you could at
They-
least flag
They were
and, yeah.
this thick,
Yeah,
but they were
we-
easy.
Yeah.
We still have those, and if we would do it through this, that is the other thing too, I'm not sure if you saw in the quote, it was a little blurb. We would still get a hard copy of our code, so we would get both.
We're not gonna lose anything that gets updated,
No.
no matter what.
No.
Correct?
Correct.
The bottom line, we're looking at $16,765 for a 5-year contract.
For 5 years, but that was just me pushing it out 5 years, so what we're looking at right now is just that year one cost of,
Right, I'm looking at total cost of the
Yes,
program for
yes.
5 years.
Mhm.
That's okay.
correct?
But MuniCode, we can just do it by the year. We're not signing a 5-year contract, correct?
Correct. But either one, honestly, you could give them 60 days notice and terminate.
Okay.
So.
Do either of these come with like an app access or compatible with an app?
It is responsive, so it is like, but there's no app that they spoke to me about. That's a good question. I didn't even think to ask them. So, but no, nothing I'm aware of.
Okay.
It would just be linked to our website.
Is this something you want an answer for tonight, or do you?
I am at
I
your.
mean, there's been a
mercy.
couple questions. I don't know if you want to check on that and just,
The questions that have been brought up, would that be a deal breaker for you one way or another? Or for
Not
us,
for me.
it don't seem like it would.
no,
From
I'm
what
just
I heard.
asking.
Yeah, no, I was just,
I mean, I'd be okay with getting those questions answered in the weekly or by the next city council meeting. At least then we would know, what happens to our data if we cancel service or
Yeah,
whatever.
we could just put it on the council agenda.
Yeah.
Don't put it on the consent.
Yeah, we can hold it under the finance area.
Mm-hmm.
We still approve it here,
Yeah.
but then pending
Right.
the big. approval.
that being said, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go with MuniCode's bid for 1 year. And unless Jill would happen to get information that she didn't like on the questions that was brought up tonight.
The Muni code was 5 years, all right?
No,
No.
that's
She just did that for the money.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yep.
So you want, what happens to our data if we terminate or leave services and if there's an app? Any other questions? Maybe get answered?
Is there any way they could track how much we use it, like for a year?
I'll
So
look
we
and
could
see.
kind of have that information
That would
for
be a
next year
Good
too.
question.
Could, I don't know if it would be possible for them to send us a copy of some other communities,
I can send that to you right now.
Yeah, she's.
just so we could take a look at it, see how it works. And yeah, I think that would be a good thing.
Mhm.
Perfect.
You got a motion for a year? As long as she gets positive feedback on her questions. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
I,
Motion carried. Any public comments or anything for the good of the city? Being said, I will adjourn at 6:14.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Personnel Committee.
All right, I call the Personnel Committee to order at 6:14. I have myself, Dojan, Giebert, Parsons, and Peel here. We have no old business. Under new business, I make the motion to approve the prior month's meeting minutes from May 19, 2025.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, looks like we have the IML conference. It is scheduled for September 18th to 20th this year. I guess we usually open it up for all department heads and city council if they want to go, pay for cost. There is no pricing for it yet
Actually, it just rolled out today. It's on the website.
on the website.
Yeah.
You just want me to,
I did not see much difference in pricing from last year, to be honest with you.
okay. Okay, then I will make the motion that make the motion that we pay for any city council or department heads to go to the IML conference.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Any public comments, anything for the good of the city?
No, other than that same topic, since we're RMA members, one registration will be free. So we do save a few little bit of dollars there.
Any public comments? Nothing. I will close at 6:15.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Public Health and Safety.
I'll call Public Health and Safety to order at 6:16. Myself, Dojan, Giebert, Mueller, and Parsons are present. It rolled off my tongue wrong. We have no old business. Under new business, I'll make a motion that we approve the May 19th, 2025 minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item is the departmental activity report. You've all got a copy of it in your packets. Anybody have any questions for John? Hearing none, we'll move on. The next one is a copy of a cat ordinance. John, I'm gonna let you handle this.
Well, we've had several instances where we've had a plethora of cats in areas where people have been feeding them.